Hello and welcome back to the Final Fantasy Tactics All Oracles Challenge, being recorded here in February of 2022. Today we are crashing the gates of Bethla Garrison, and we're heading to the North Gate, really just out of habit. I looked at the lineups for both of them, and I think that this one may be a little bit better than the other one for enemy units that you get. And this has historically just been my go-to for all the years I've been playing this game. I've almost never, ever chosen to play the South Wall battle. This one has a summoner, it has a monk, it has a couple archers, and a couple of lancers. So lancers are going to be fun if they get to jumping too much. That's why this might not be the best choice, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. If they're in don't act status, of course, they aren't going to be taking any jumps anytime soon. So you see archers have the positional advantage right there up on top, and there's a monk right around the corner there ready for me to go. In terms of equipment, we've got our more defensive setup. I have the regen bags on all of the oracles except Ramza. Ramza has a rod. And I have the Dracula mantle for evasion of all the physical attacks that might be coming in. So we might be dodging some monk punches or the arrows that are going to be raining down from above us. And regen is going to be really important, I think. In a battle like this that tends to go kind of long, I think regen for just some supplemental healing is nice, especially given the presence of that summoner there. So Ramza's looking at where can he go, how aggressive do I want to be, and trying to get that summoner silenced or that summoner taken care of. But he's going to come over here and like, which threat do we deal with first? And it looks like he's going to line up a paralyze, and he's going to take a look at it over there on the monk, and sure enough, there we go. So the monk has a paralyze coming his way. The lancers are still a couple of moves out of our range, so we're still okay for a little bit with them. I don't think they'll have jump to be able to cover the whole map. That wall does make it kind of annoying to see who is where. So you're going to hear the sound of the tile ticking a lot in this battle. So I'm looking at how aggressive I need to be. I'm trying to see if I can get to like 4 tiles away from that lancer. So the lancer who's already taken a turn, I could probably fire off a paralyze before he moves again. But the one who hasn't had a turn, I cannot probably fire off the paralyze before he gets one. So that is safer to target there because I'm more confident he's not going to move, or I'm 100% confident he's not going to move if he's already had a turn. So here I'm moving up to maybe go after that summoner. We are going to be bunched up here against that wall, so it's going to be a good idea to have that summoner taken care of. Now, this is unfortunate right here because the summoner is going to get a turn. And what I'm doing here is I'm looking to see if I should protect the area that he will move into to target us with a summon. Because right now, he's too far away to hit us with a summon. And if his movement is not very good, like if his move is just 3, he will have to move up into my silence casting area in order to cast his summon. So I'm wondering what the game will have him do if there's a silence spell going to be cast in the area he has to move to to cast a summon on us. So that's kind of a waiting move right there because I know that he's going to get a turn. That's why I didn't target it directly on him, because he'll get a turn, and if I targeted it on him or on the tile right in front of him, he could move through the silence area and get right up to the wall to target us, but that's okay. So she's going to drain from the monk. Doesn't really need the hit points, but we are going to have to get these guys down anyway. There's no healing around except for possibly the summoner with Moogle, and the monk will be able to use chakra on himself. I don't think the lancers are going to be using their little dragon drain thing for draining MP. So here's the summoner. Taking a while, the game took a while to think about where to move him. He does move into the radius of the silence spell, and he is charging a summon on like all of us. Here comes the silence spell, and it is guarded. Little did I know, the summoner there is wearing a gold hairpin, which I should have checked on that before I actually cast this on him because he is silent. So I should have probably cast a don't act on that tile instead of silence or paralyze on that tile. So there, that lancer is down for a few rounds. And let's see if we can get this archer down for a few rounds. This is kind of the strategy, is if I can get a few of them incapacitated, then I can kind of focus on one character for a couple of rounds and get them down. Then I can just re-paralyze everybody again, and yeah. So that's pretty painful. That Shiva's pretty painful. So here we're covering the MP. We're not really draining it, but we are absorbing the MP from Shiva there. So that Lancer is going to be moving out of harm's way. The Monk also is just going to get out of the way, which is good. So here's where I need to take a look at the Summoner. She's going to move up here, so now she can target him, and this is where we need to really get him slowed down. And I like to use Silence because Silence is a little better for mages because they will then move up to you. And here's where I see, oh man, he was immune to Silence status. So let's take a look at what he is immune to. So he's got the Enkai Armlet, which is Confusion and Charm. And then the Black Robe just strengthens his elemental attacks and then cancels Silence for gold hairpin. So yeah, it's real sad. But he still can be hit by other things, so I think we go for a Paralyze here on him, yeah. And Don't Act is 100%, so that's what I should have targeted on those tiles before. He may not have moved into them and may not have done the attack. He may have moved, like, back around. So, in the end, it's not too bad, I don't think. And we will start recovering from the Shiva attack, but it will take us a few rounds with just regen alone. We're going to have to use some life drains to pick that up a little faster, especially when we're also taking hits from these archers. And when you're charging, you've got your mantles don't protect you. When you're charging, they've got 100% to hit. So we're going to be very vulnerable to the archers as long as they're active up there. So when you're outnumbered like this, it is a difficult balance to dance between how many actions do I spend paralyzing guys and how many actions do I spend actually advancing to victory. This battle is a good example of a first roll of a battle where I was just kind of trying some things out and I ended up winning this one. I didn't have quite as solid a strategy as I could have, because one way that I could have dealt with this is, you know, paralyze the summoner up there and then maybe worked around and had everybody just life drain the monk while he was down there. Just have everybody life drain him and then make the other characters all kind of come at me. Or I could have done it to one of the archers up there. Just have everybody drain him out while the other guys are hanging around. But with the enemies spread out and our characters kind of spread out, it just was a difficult puzzle. I'd say this one was kind of a tough cookie here. Having the summoner immune to silence was a big part of that in the early stages, I have to say. And here comes the paralyze, I think, on the summoner. And that was 100% to land. So we've got some compatibility there, clearly. And that archer's just moving out, and the summoner's just moving out. So now we have a few rounds of relative safety right here. So this is where I'd like to have maybe, just taking somebody out. I'm going to use 4. I've got 5 characters. If I just cast 5 life drains on somebody, that's going to be, it's going to be a nice win there. And especially because these guys are starting to have pretty nice armor, and so life drain will restore a pretty decent amount. So they're already, I think, recovered from the Shiva if they've gotten off a life drain and a couple of rounds of regen. There's the monk down there. And so I also don't want that Lancer to be causing too much trouble. I don't want the Lancer coming in because the jump attack can really do like 180 or something. It can do like really massive damage. So I'd really rather not be taking too many jump attacks if I can from Cedric. So I'm looking at the AT here to see when Cedric will get his turn. And it's right there. So I'd already moved her here, which is like I should have done this before I moved her over to him. I think he still probably would be able to get over and jump on her even if she was there, but he could maybe have jumped on somebody else. I don't know. Could have maybe jumped on one of the weaker characters. Maybe that was for the best. So she was still low on health because she took a hit from the arrow and the Shiva. So she needs the life drain, and she's going to get the regen health as well. And there is 77 from that Lancer. So she'll be full health or close to full health when the inevitable jump does happen. And there's 72 from the Archer. Good drain, guys. Yeah, and so it's 180 is the damage it'll do. And that is 35 on top of it from the arrow if it hit, which is really nice that it did not, thank you. That would be the Dracula Mantle coming in handy right there. And the Archer is actually moving himself down a little bit farther. And so here's a great example of, do I try another Paralyze? Like Ramza doesn't have great compatibility with that Archer. Do I try another Paralyze, or do I try a lower percent life drain? You know, can that be a wasted action? You know, do I actually advance my way to a victory, or try to stave off a little bit longer? That's always a tough balance with challenge parties, where you can't just kind of throw everything at them. Although we'll see a little bit of that later in this fight. I will spoil that a little bit, I suppose. Throwing everything at him. So drain misses. Yeah, was one of those lower percent hits. Life drain. That one's going to miss. And this is just some of that luck you get. Sometimes, like in the Dugyola Pass, just got a really bad string of misses. Now, this is also one of the things that tends to happen is when you get everyone paralyzed at the same round, they all tend to be healed from it in the same round. They all tend to lose paralyzed status immediately at the same time, because, of course, that's how timing works in the game. But it can be frustrated if you aren't able to really secure a strong advantage during the time that they are paralyzed. If you're not able to really lock down a huge advantage, it can feel overwhelming to have suddenly, like, oh my gosh, all these guys that I had kind of just counted out of the battle are suddenly back in. So you have to just hope that they've taken a few actions and moved far enough away from you that it's going to take them a couple rounds to get back, and maybe you can paralyze them again. So there is a miss right there, and it was good. She was only going to take 35. That was the defense up, was going to be a real help there. I don't know if that was the 180. I don't know if jump is part of that defense up. Like, would that have been 300 something? I don't know. I don't actually know if defense up works on jumps. So there's a don't act for 88. So she's got better compatibility with that Archer right there. And she's going to go ahead and lock that down, because that will help. That will let us pick up MP or HP and MP a little bit more, because our regen will be actually able to catch up. So the monk there, even though he's not in don't act status, still decided to just run away over there. He still just was like, yeah, I'm just going to move over here and wait. So here's Ramza looking to see who's who again. Cedric and Lowell are the ones. So Cedric is there, and yeah, I guess Thompson is the other Lancer in this fight. So he's looking where he's got better chances to land, and also who's a little bit more deadly. It looks like he's going for a more aggressive tactic there, and also just like hoping to pick up some life, which is important right here. So she's going to target a life drain, and right now she just needs the life. I don't care which unit. She was going to go with whoever she had the highest compatibility with, because she just needs the life. And when I select wait here, she's going to pick up 31. So after all those hits and that jump, now it's unfortunate because it looks like she has great compatibility with that Lancer, so she could have targeted him with a Paralyze and gotten it to land nearly certainly for don't act. But she just really needed the health here, because that's 2 ticks of regen, a little bit more than that even. But anyway, here comes don't act targeting on the Archer, and there it is. So that'll save us some damage, especially since he's getting his turn right now. But it will make him retreat back up the wall, which is the less fun part of this. Here's a tricky spot where I'm trying to find where can I get to target the Lancer there, but still be relatively protected. because I'd like to paralyze that Lancer so he's not able to get a jump attack in, but I don't think I'm going to get a turn before he does to do it. The person to cast the Paralyze on him would have been the other one who had to do the Drain Life, who had taken the jump. She had the timing right to be able to paralyze him before he gets his turn, but here comes his turn right there, unfortunately. So Life Drain can land before he takes his action. So I can get him down to a quarter life before he goes to move. But sadly, I can't quite get him paralyzed. Life Drain's got actually a fantastic charge time. I do love that Life Drain in this middle part of this battle has a charge time that a lot of times it fires right away, or nearly right away. So here, instead of going for a jump, he just goes for a charge, which is really curious. That's really interesting, actually, because he's just going for a charge attack. It's like charge +4. Yeah, there it is. And it's like, wow, that's all right. That's one way to live your life. May have been because the jump timing wouldn't have worked. I'm not sure. Maybe the AT order, the characters he wanted to jump on, a bit like she had just gone. She had moved and acted. And looks like he is immune to Don't Act status. So let's see what he's got. There it is. Defense Armlet. Don't move, don't act. He is immune. All right, sleep. He's got a nice chance to land, but it's going to be quite a while. So we're going to go for 77% chance to land, or 75% chance to land the finishing blow. And we do. So there we go. That Dragoon is down. So it's actually good to see some positive progress made, to actually see a character down for the battle, because they don't have any revival here unless that monk can get around over. Monk has a revive thing. I don't know if this one hasn't learned, but monks do have a revive skill. So again, though, we are, we've got everybody on their feet and active except for that one Lancer. There's the archer up there is in Don't Act status, but that summoner is going to be a problem again. And so here's where I'm thinking about doing the same trick I did before, of targeting a spell on the area that the summoner is going to have to move into in order to target us. So he moves into that area, and then we hit him with Don't Act, then he won't be able to fire off his charged spell. But Shiva has such a short charging time, and with that black robe that he has, I think that applies to the ice elemental boost, which is why that Shiva was so deadly. So summoners can really be a problem. It can really give you a problem. So that arrow is actually going to be pretty important right there that she took while charging, because here comes the summoner. Yeah, he's going to move in there. I couldn't protect everything. I couldn't protect my whole area there, unfortunately. So he is going to use Chakra on himself, pick up 75 and 37. So he is actually fairly close to full health again. So no, where do I go with him? This again, the same question of like, do I just go for a life drain to try to bring him down, or do I need to Don't Act him first? Especially because he can, if he's doing Chakra, he can recover, nearly as fast or faster than I can drain him, unless I've got multiple characters all working on him. So I'm looking at what's the best choice here. Yeah, because Chakra did 75 and life drain's only 68. But it looks like I am going for this one. Maybe that will just keep him trying to use Chakra, but unfortunately it missed. Chakra cannot miss, I don't think. So that is a mathematical disadvantage to that strategy. I probably should have gone a slightly different way with that. So that Lancer is paralyzed. Okay, no problems there. I know there's a summon coming here, so we need to get her not in the summon area. I can't have her charge up because there's a summon just like ready to fire off here. So I need to get her out of harm's way. Unfortunately, she can't do anything. Yeah, she can't do anything useful. I guess one thing she could have done maybe is tried to cast Doubt Faith on one of her own characters who was about to take that summon. That's one strategy I didn't quite look at, because I could have put one of them in innocent status, and then this would have done 0. But then they wouldn't have been able to use any magic. They would have had to have just basically retreated from the battle. They would have stayed alive. They would have had to basically just run away and just let regen charge them up. So now I have a character down. I don't have any way to revive them, and I don't want to accept any perma deaths here, perma KOs in this run. So I am now into YOLO mode. I've got 4 enemies left, I believe. And we are just going to try to petrify everybody. We're going to go from all of this shenanigans of trying to, wear them down, drain their health, paralyze them, all of that. We're just going to go for just get everybody petrified immediately if we can. This is kind of we have 3 rounds to do it before she turns to a crystal, so let's try. Or we have 5 characters still alive. Wow, it's not 4. That's right, because I've only taken down, in all this time, in all this 20 minutes of battle, I've only managed to take out that one Lancer. And that's just because when you're outnumbered like this, it is hard, because you're using a lot of actions to keep them locked down. And then your attacks have that chance to miss, which is just unfortunate that, our offensive output with this party is life drain, which is slow and can miss. So we've had a lot of attacks. And also, you can't get a boost from the weapons. It's all just a quarter of the health. So that's showing some of the weaknesses of these guys. So here, I've got to get everybody into a square where they can start casting. Now, she couldn't quite get up to where I needed her, so I have to have her move and wait here because I've got more characters over there. I want to get everybody targeting Petrifies, though. And there's one, so that's a good start. So he was in don't act status anyway, so he wasn't going to be a threat to us, but we need 5 of them to land. The arrows, I don't really mind. I'm okay with that. The summoner's coming up here. He'll probably charge another summon, and if he lands another one, then that's going to be about it. Oh, no, he's going to go for haste, I think. So that's interesting that he didn't charge up to do another summon, because that would have been my choice, probably, if I was playing this game. Because I've got a bunch of these guys who took one big summon, and let's give him another one. So here I'm moving to, I'm trying to set up where I need to be, so I'm getting real aggressive with my placement because I'm going to have to get them up here to target Petrify on both of those guys on the ground, and also I'm going to have to start working people up that wall to chase that archer up there. So if I can't get to that archer, if he stays way back, then that'll be just time wasted. So haste misses, and haste hits himself, so that summoner is in haste status. Okay. Again, not probably the best use of his action or his turn, especially because now he is a statue. So haste or not, he is now turned to stone. So that's 2 for 2. That's pretty nice luck. So after all the life drains that we missed here, we've got 2 for 2 on Petrifies. Here comes casting on the monk. And we are 3 for 3. 3 for 3 on Petrifies right here. We've got 5 characters we need to hit. We've got 5 characters that we need to just lock down. And actually, one thing I didn't look at, I don't know if any of these guys were within 1 hit of doing it with life drain. This archer is not, but like some of the other ones, like the summoner may have been. I can't remember how many hits he had taken. So that could have been a higher % chance to go for a life drain if they were on their last quarter of health, because that's got a higher hit rate. So that's a lower % one. This is like Ramza has not had great compatibility with that archer yet this game, unfortunately. So here again, she has to move, and I don't think she's in range yet again. Or is she in range of this guy? Oh, no, she's not. But here's what she's doing. This is a cool play. So she's looking to see who is going to cast first on that archer. And so she can't quite reach the archer, but she can put faith status on one of the characters who's charging on him. So the first one misses, and now here comes Pray Faith. So Pray Faith is going to give a boost to it. It doesn't give a boost at the exact rate because it still has to take into account the target's faith, but it does give a boost to your hit % because it turns her faith to 100. All right, so now we're going to move up here, and one thing I could do is I could, charge another Petrify and then move up there, or I could, rely on the other one to land and then just move and wait and try to go faster. So here looks like I'm charging one and waiting. I took a different choice. I probably should have done the other one. I probably should have charged one and then moved so that I could be closer to that upper archer in case Ramza's wasn't hitting and I could get there before the other one crystallized on me. But boom, there's the one who was in fate status, and he is petrified. So this archer is moving up indeed, so he's going after the charging one. That's fine, because the one in faith status is the one who's got a higher chance to hit, so she'll be able to move into range next round. But she will not have to because Ramza's 42% Petrify was able to land right there. Boom. So much for playing this one safe. I went to YOLO mode and we got there. So, next one, we're heading into the sluice at Bethla Garrison. We will see you there.